Welcome to WikiPodcast. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the life of a truly remarkable artist, someone whose work just bursts with color and pain and life.
Absolutely. We're talking about Frida Kahlo.
Exactly, part of our History Maker series focusing on these visionary artists. And Frida, well, her story is just so compelling. Her art was this incredibly vivid mirror, wasn't it? Reflecting her pain, her passion, her identity.
It really was. And what's so fascinating is how she took those very personal things, you know, the chronic pain, that intense inner world, and she made it into this universal language.
Right. So we're going to unpack how her self-portraits, the cultural symbols she used, and her whole personal narrative really made her this global icon she is today.
Yeah, and how that journey, starting right from a childhood accident, didn't just shape her body, but the actual core of her art. She's just such an inspiration for so many people.
Okay, let's get into it then. Starting right at the beginning. Magdalena Carmen Frida Kahlo y Calderón, born in Coyoacán, Mexico, 1907.
Although she often claimed 1910, didn't she?
Yeah.
To link herself with the Mexican Revolution.
Yes, that's right. Such a Frida thing to do. And her childhood home, La Casa Azul, the Blue House, it becomes the central character in her life story.
It really does. And you have to understand her early influences to get her. Her father, Guillermo Kahlo, he was a German photographer.
He sounds like a key figure, taught her photography, shared his love for books, nature.
Definitely. But then her relationship with her mother was apparently quite tense. Sources say it created a very, very sad feeling in the house sometimes.
And then came the physical challenges early on. Polio at 6 years old.
Yeah, which left her with that lasting limp, her right leg shorter and thinner, led to some isolation. Kids can be cruel.
But here's something really interesting. Her father, who also had a disability, he apparently made her his favorite. He really pushed her, encouraged her to play sports, to overcome.
That bond seems so significant. And she was bright, ambitious. She went to the elite national preparatory school, aiming for medicine originally.
Oh, medicine. And she was one of only, what, 35 girls in a class of 2,000?
Exactly. Already breaking barriers. She was also part of this rebellious group, the Cachuchas.
Yeah.
Very into Mexican culture, social justice, stirring things up.
And then, September 1925, the event that changed everything.
The bus accident, just horrific. She was only 18.
Impaled by an iron handrail, fractured pelvis, punctured abdomen and uterus, broken spine, shattered leg. It's almost unimaginable.
And just like that, her dream of being a doctor, it was gone. Replaced by a life sentence of chronic pain.
So how does that kind of intense suffering, how does it become art?
Well, she was stuck in bed for months, right? 3 months recovering. And that's when she started painting.
Her mother got her a special easel so she could paint lying down.
Yeah, and her father gave her oil paints. They put a mirror up above her bed. And that famous quote of hers.
I paint myself because I am often alone and I am the subject I know best.
Exactly. Turning that isolation, that pain, right into her subject matter. Profound self-expression born from agony.
So painting becomes her new focus. But her life takes another big dramatic turn when she runs into Diego Rivera again in 1928.
Right. The famous muralist. Already a huge name.
And he was impressed by her work.
Immediately. He saw something totally unique, said it had unusual energy of expression, true severity. He called her an authentic artist.
And then they got married in 1929, the famous elephant and the dove pairing.
Ah, yes. Because of their physical difference, their marriage was always in the spotlight, constant media attention.
And when they moved to Cuernavaca, her style really shifted, didn't it? She started embracing Mexicanidad.
Oh, absolutely. This post-revolutionary wave of romantic nationalism focusing on indigenous culture.
And that's when she started wearing the traditional clothes, the long skirts, the huipils, the headdresses.
Yes, the Tijuana dress became her signature look. It wasn't just fashion, though. It was a statement.
How so?
Well, think about it. It was deeply political. Embracing her mestiza heritage, pushing back against colonialism. It was feminist, anti-colonial. A powerful symbol.
And that connection to Mexico, to its people, it stays central to her art throughout her life.
Completely. Then they traveled to the U.S. from 1930 to 33. San Francisco, Detroit.
That trip sounds like it was pretty mixed. Good for her art in some ways, but difficult personally.
Very difficult, especially Detroit. She apparently really disliked the capitalist culture she saw, And then she suffered a devastating miscarriage there.
Which you can really see reflected in her work from that time. So raw.
Absolutely. She poured that anguish onto the canvas, experimenting too, using themes of terror, suffering, wounds, and pain.
And she started using that retablo style, those small sort of folk art religious paintings.
Exactly, for incredibly personal works like Henry Ford Hospital, showing the miscarriage or my birth, or self-portrait on the border of Mexico and the United States. It distills these huge, complex events down to their essence. Really powerful.
And back in Mexico, things didn't exactly calm down personal, did they? Diego's affair with her own sister, Cristina.
Yeah, that led to their divorce in 1939. Though famously, they couldn't stay apart for long, remarried the next year.
And she had her own affairs, too. Leon Trotsky, famously. He even starred at La Casa Azul for a while.
Right, which led to that painting self-portrait dedicated to Leon Trotsky. Her life was never dull.
Definitely not. But despite all that personal drama, the late 1930s were actually a really productive time for her art, weren't they?
Incredibly productive. She made her first big sale, and then Andre Breton, the surrealist leader, discovered her work.
He was blown away, right? Called it a ribbon around a bomb.
That's the famous quote. He was captivated. He organized her first solo show in New York in 1938. Big success.
But was she actually a surrealist? I know there's some debate there.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Breton definitely claimed her for the movement, but Frida herself, she apparently detested surrealism.
Called it bourgeois art.
Exactly. She said she painted her reality, not her dreams. So many art historians see her more aligned with symbolism or magical realism, drawing on Aztec myth, Mexican culture, things rooted in her reality.
It makes sense. And her international fame just kept growing. The Louvre bought one of her paintings.
The frame, making her the first Mexican artist in their collection. A huge deal.
And she started getting more recognition in Mexico, too, even taught art. Her students adored her, called themselves Los Fridos.
They did. She has this magnetic personality. And her paintings from this time just so rich with symbolism.
Like the roots growing from her body.
Yeah, sometimes symbolizing growth, other times feeling trapped, anchored, or hair representing femininity, growth. Think about self-portrait with cropped hair.
Where she cuts off her hair after the divorce from Diego. Such a defiant image against machismo.
Precisely. And all the medical imagery, of course.
Yeah.
The corsets, the wounds, the blood, reflecting her constant pain, her surgeries. Often with this complex layer of guilt, especially around her inability to carry a child to term.
And her face in the portraits, it often looks like a mask almost, holding so much back or maybe revealing something deeper.
That's a great way to put it. It is often mask-like. She uses these visual cues, the monkeys, skeletons, hummingbirds, hearts, often drawn from Aztec mythology, to convey these complex inner states.
Exploring dualities, right? Life and death, Mexican and European.
Male and female, tradition and modernity. Always questioning what it meant to be Mexican, to be a woman, to be her, in that specific time and place.
But sadly, her health just kept getting worse through the 40s and 50s.
It was a relentless decline. More surgeries, more pain, more corsets, just to hold her body together.
And you see it in the paintings, the broken column, the wounded deer.
Yeah.
They're just devastatingly powerful depictions of that physical suffering.
Absolutely. By the end, she was mostly confined to La Casa Azul.
Still politically active, though, right? Even rejoined the Communist Party.
Oh, yes. Right to the end, she was engaged. Campaign for peace. Her final paintings feel almost feverish, like that still life, Viva la vida, long live life.
Such an incredible title, given everything. And that first solo show in Mexico in 1953, arriving by ambulance.
And having her four-poster bed put right in the middle of the gallery, she held court from her bed. It's just pure Frida, so defiant, so theatrical, so iconic.
An unforgettable image.
Her very last public appearance was just days before she died, July 1954, a demonstration against the CIA in Guatemala.
Wow. Still fighting. She died just days later, July 13th, only 47.
And that final diary entry, I joyfully await the exit, and I hope never to return, Frida. It's just heartbreaking. It gives you chills.
It really does. And after her death, her reputation just exploded, didn't it? Especially from the 70s onwards.
Massively. Different groups sort of rediscovered her. Art historians, political activists, Chicanos, feminists, the LGBTQ+ community. They all saw something powerful in her work and her life.
She became this huge icon.
Absolutely. Her life story With all its tragedy and pain, it really captured the public imagination. Her image became as recognizable as Che Guevara's or Bob Marley's. They even coined a term for it, Frida Mania.
Frida Mania, yeah, you saw her image everywhere, and her art started breaking records. That painting Diego and I sold for over $1 million back in 1990.
And then Hollywood got interested. The Salma Hayek movie, Frida.
Right. Even showing up in animated films like Coco.
But, there's also some criticism of that Frida Mania.
How so?
Well, some scholars feel that the focus on the drama, the biography, the commercialization, sometimes it overshadows the actual art.
That the interpretations become too simplistic.
Kind of. That maybe her complex, flawed humanity gets a bit smoothed over, airbrushed. And maybe we lose some understanding of her real historical context and the depth of her work because of it. It's a fair point to consider.
It is. So, thinking about all this, what does Frida Kahlo mean for us, for you listening today?
I think whether you connect with the art itself or her incredible life story or just the cultural force she became, she really stands for something enduring.
Nonconformity. Resilience.
Absolutely. Radical self-expression in the face of unbelievable adversity. And her home, La Casa Azul, being one of Mexico City's top museums now, her face on stamps, murals, it shows how much she still resonates.
She really did transform all that immense pain, didn't she? Physical, emotional, into this completely unique, vibrant way of expressing herself.
She created her own mythology, really, challenged all sorts of norms about gender, about identity, about art itself. She gave voice to the female experience in a way few had before.
Making her not just, a famous painter, but this powerful symbol of human creativity and resilience.
Exactly. The power to define yourself, even when the world or even your own body seems set against you.
So what aspect of Frida Kahlo's unique self-expression resonates most with you, and why? Thanks for listening. Write us your opinion on what aspect of Frida Kahlo's self-expression resonates most with you in the comments. Subscribe to the channel to help more listeners reach our episodes. Thank you, and have an amazing day.